2.1 Order of Operations. We have PEMDAS to help us do our math in order. The P stands for grouping symbols, usually called parentheses. And we do have three different types of parentheses. We have rounded parentheses, we have brackets, and we also have square parentheses. Parentheses are grouping symbols, and those are not the only kinds of grouping symbols we have. We have three more kinds of grouping symbols known as absolute value, a square root, and the division bar. I can group numbers on the division bar. I could have all kinds of numbers on top, all kinds of numbers and operations in the denominator, and that's why it's a grouping symbols, because I can group all kinds of operations and numbers in the numerator and denominator. If you see parentheses, the first thing you need to do in the order of operations is you need to do the parentheses. When you are inside the parentheses, you still need to follow the order of operations. If I look at problem C, I see that I have a pair of parentheses here on the outside, the square ones. Well, I would start the order of operations on the inside of the parentheses. I'm focusing on the parentheses, and once I see them, I look on the inside and I say, are there any parentheses inside the parentheses? And that's where I would start first. E stands for exponents. Two to the third power means that I'm going to multiply the base to itself 3 times. 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. Next in the order of operations is multiplying or dividing. Whichever one occurs first from left to right. You always multiply and divide left to right, whichever occurs first. Next in the order of operations is adding or subtracting, left to right, whichever occurs first. Always add and subtract left to right, whichever occurs first. Example A, are there any parentheses? Yes. So I'm going to start with inside this parenthesis, and I'm going to simplify down to a single number. I have 7 times whatever is in the parentheses. 13 minus 8 would be 5. And 7 times 5 is 35. Problem B. Are there any parentheses? Yes. I'm going to start within the parentheses. I have 24 minus. And now when I look in the parentheses, I do the order of operations. Are there any parentheses in the parentheses? No. Are there any exponents? Yes. And so I would start with that first. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is 9. I finish until I have a single number, a fraction, a decimal, a whole number, until I have a single number in the parentheses. 9 plus 1 is 10. And now I have 24 minus 10. Problem C, are there any parentheses? Yes, I am looking at the square parentheses. That's where I'm starting. So I have 2 times whatever I get on the inside. Are there any parentheses in the parentheses? Yes, right here with 8 plus 13. So I copy down everything that I see, and I'm only doing what's inside the parentheses. 8 plus 13 is 21. I still do not have a single digit in here yet. I need to keep going. Copy everything down except for where I'm working. 30 minus 21 would be 9. I finish by multiplying 2 times, the 2 is next to the parenthesis, 2 is next to the grouping symbol, and it means to multiply. 2 times 9 is 18. Problem D. Are there any parentheses? No. Are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplying or dividing? Yes. I work from left to right, whichever occurs first. Here is my multiplying. Here is the dividing. I start with this one first. 6 times 5 is 30, and then I write down everything that I see. Is there any more multiplying or dividing? Yes, I have negative 10 divided by 2. Remember, we always keep our signs in front of our terms. I bring down 30, and now I'm doing negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Finally, I have 30 minus 5 is 25. Problem E. Are there any parentheses? Yes, I'm starting here. 4 times the parenthesis plus 2 times 11. 3 plus 6 is 9. Are there any other parentheses that I need to do? No, I have a single number in here. I'm ready to move on. After parentheses comes exponents. Are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplying or dividing? Yes, I see 2 multiplying. 4 times 9, 2 times 11, and I work from left to right. 4 times 9 is 36. I'm ready to move on to 2 times 11. 2 times 11 is a positive 22. Finally, I have 36 plus 22, which is going to be 58. Last problem, problem F. Are there any parentheses? Yes, I have 2 sets. On the outside, I have 3 times all of the stuff on the inside. So 3 times. Are there any parentheses in the parentheses? Yes, right here. So I start here. Copy down everything else. And I'm working right here. 7 plus 5 is 12. Now I have a single number in this parenthesis. I'm ready to move on. Are there any exponents? No. Is there any multiplying or dividing? Yes. I'm still on the inside of the parentheses. I am not ready to move on to the outside yet. I see 12 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and I still have a minus 1. Finally, I'm down to 3 minus 1 is 2. I have a single number inside the parentheses, and I'm ready to move on. 3 times 2 is 6.